Hello everybody, my name is Kara. How are y'all doing today? I hope y'all doing fantastic because today we're gonna jump into a special video. We're gonna jump into a very special journey of Heroes Quest, the automatic roguelite RPG. Now, why do I say special? Now, I don't mean there's any updates, I don't mean that there's any new things. I say special because we're gonna talk about the common mistakes that people make in this video game when they first start out. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. And we'll go for the first few basic mistakes already. So, alright, when you start out, uh you don't really know like the full layout of the map, right? So I mean you're exploring a little bit, like maybe you see an indent down here, maybe you see an indent in there, but I mean right here in the starting area kinda looks like walls, right? So naturally you would assume to go forward to the north after you get comfortable with that. And you see all these mobs right here. They're level 26. They're in the 20s, they're in the 10s, they're in the 30s, and then you see this boss right here, the forest golem. And you think you can take him, right? But in actuality, you get one shot. Now, how do you prevent this? Well, the forest golem is actually the third boss that you have to fight in this game. Those indentions that you see in your starting area when you explore, they take you to the actual first or second bosses of the game. So right here, you see all level 30s, level 50s, level 40s, and then your boss. This avian right here, in this little square, is your actual first boss that you have to fight. And then after that, if you go all the way up here, if you go back towards the right here, and then you try to find a boss here, you feel uncomfortable with these 60s, 70s, and 80s, boom, there's your next boss, the disguised chest. After you beat him, you can get a little more comfortable in this area, and then you can fight the forest golem. Alright. And then now you can fight the forest golem, right? It'll be easy peasy. And then it's like here, when you go to this area, you're gonna assume, like here's another common mistake. You're gonna fight these mobs over here, right? You're gonna feel comfortable, then you're gonna jump in a Void Queen. Now, I one-shot this boss because I'm pretty powerful, but to a beginner, this would not happen. This would not happen if you had the starting hero, like no equipment, and you try to rush Void Queen and then she one-shots you. Now there's an area to the left, kind of looks like a wall at first, but when you explore a little bit more, you'll find this room, you'll find some mobs that are in this particular level range, then you go up, and then you find mobs in this particular range and even higher. You go up, 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 you go through here, and then you find the Soul Stealer. That is your actual fourth boss that you're supposed to fight. Void Queen is the fifth boss. And this goes on through different areas. Like, there's some maps where there's multiple bosses in one room and you have to try to find out which one is the weaker boss for you to handle, right? So basically the premise of this mistake is people don't explore enough and they just rush. They rush in, they try to mosey their way from a boss that they think that they can beat, but in actuality just pummels them into the ground in one hit. So you really just have to explore. You have to use the 3 E's in this scenario. You explore, you experiment, and you enjoy after you've beaten this boss. Let's see. That's one common mistake. Speaking of rushing bosses, another common mistake that people make Okay, so let's say I have my max energy, 35, and I go to a boss right now, and, like, I beat him easily, but here's the kicker. I don't get extra energy after fighting that boss. Now, why that is because you have an energy cap. Yes, right, you have an energy cap that you have whether you've paid for something in the game or not, or like if you've done it, if you have any max energy relics. So basically the way energy works is you have 30 if you haven't paid for anything in the game. If you haven't spent a single dime, you get 30 max energy. 35 if you have paid for something in the game, usually around $3 or $4. And then you can increase that max even further with max energy relics. Now, relics are pretty rare for bosses to drop. It's a 5% chance for items or relics with bosses, and it's a 0.5% chance of dropping just items from mobs, like the regular enemies you see around the map. Alright, speaking of, like, equipping your items and relics, if you played this game before the update, where you have your equipment and stat icons, a lot of people wouldn't know where to go to equip their items. So you would have to go to the pause menu, you go to your equipment, and then boom, you see like your equipment, you see your relics. You have to press on a particular equipment slot that you want to use, and you can open the shop, you can click on the particular space, and then it'll take you to the shop where you need to buy your particular type of equipment that you would like to purchase. And another thing about currency in this game, a lot of people, well, I've made the mistake, and other people I've seen make the mistake of not spending all of their money when they end a run. Now, the game tells you at the beginning that you should prioritize spending all of your funds because they don't transfer over when you start a new run. They don't transfer over. It's completely reset. The only things that don't reset is your equipment, your stats from your main hero. So I have the spellcaster, so I have 150% extra attack. Right? So it's basically your equipment doesn't get reset, your tickets doesn't get reset, and if you have a hero that applies a bonus to your stat, that doesn't get reset either. Okay, and a thing about controls, like I've seen people complain about the floating controls where you have a directional pad wherever you tap the screen, right? I've seen a lot of people complain about that, and I once complained about it too, but I've gotten used to it over time, right? Like, I've grown to adapt with it. Now, you can have fixed controls. You are able to have fixed controls in this game. So basically what you do is you go to your pause menu, you go to options, right? And where you see floating controls, if you turn it off, boom, it'll fix it to this bottom portion of your screen. Which some people might like that better if they're trying to go one-handed with their gameplay, but I'm not a big fan of it personally. I like the floating controls more. Oh, and while we're on this menu, this may seem like a cop-out, this may seem like a sellout, but a lot of people don't know that Heroes Quest has a Discord server. This is mostly for you people watching on YouTube, not for any in the Discord server already. But you do the same thing that you would do to go to your floating controls, but you would go the same route to your Discord server, which will take you to the main one, the main Discord server, right? And it will take you to this nice, this welcoming, this awesome community that loves to help out anyone that they can, you know, when they can get to them, right? Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if there's any more common mistakes that people make. That's all that I can think of right now. I'm sure there's plenty more. Let's go ahead and exit to the main menu. Okay, maybe not a mistake, but a lot of people don't know where to spend their tickets, right? So, you can spend your tickets in the Hero Select menu, where you can buy particular heroes with a certain amount of tickets, right? And you can always get more tickets by buying them or watching videos. You can also buy relic slots with your tickets, which is pretty nice. Okay, and that should be all for the video. That should be all for the mistakes that I can find. I'm sure there's plenty more out there. But, as I said before, this is the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, post a comment down below. Join the Discord server, join the Reddit. Yeah, we have a Reddit server. It's not very big, but I only hope that with advertising it can grow bigger. And that's it. And until then, I bid you adieu.